start splitting the map in half here. Getting some bunkers down. He'll siege up these tanks, I'm sure, in this area just to make sure that he can hold everything okay. If we look at the supply difference here, looks like TLO is at 163 to MouzMana's 160, so they're very, very close there. Level 3 upgrades coming down for MouzMana here, and TLO is starting to get some air upgrades, getting a fusion core, cool stuff, and 2 command centers coming down at the same time. Also is level 2 upgrades on the way. Psionic Storm is just about to finish, and looks like MouzMana is getting another Nexus coming down. So big macro game coming in here, and who knows when these players are actually going to decide to engage. Surely they're going to be 200 out of 200 when one of them decides to push. TLO is throwing down these command centers right in the middle here, and so if I had to guess, he's going to go planetary fortresses there and just completely split the map in half. Which is very interesting. He does have this command center floating over to this position, and this could be another planetary fortress, or he could also float it somewhere else. MouzMana is getting about halfway down on his level 3 upgrades, and TLO coming out with battle cruisers. He is upgrading those planetary fortresses as well. So if we take a look at his production facilities, that one battle cruiser is coming out. Might make another one. He is still getting upgrades here. His personal cloaking for the ghosts. And still pumping out a lot of bio units. Make another orbital command. Getting the Behemoth reactor, which increases the starting energy of battle cruisers from that fusion core. Almost has that level 1 air upgrades finished, and we see that MouzMana is getting the Kydarian amulet. TLO doing a drop up here, didn't do a lot of damage at this expansion, and if MouzMana doesn't move quick enough, no, he's not going to be able to drop that expansion. TLO is smartly going to pick up one medevac here and start bringing to the south. He knows that this is pretty much a lost cause, and if he doesn't drop those quick, those Phoenixes are going to demolish him, but they have plenty of energy. They're going to pick up all those Marines and kill them, no problem. MouzMana is going to come up here and just make sure that nothing fishy is going on and scout out that whole expansion there. TLO is starting to set up missile turrets around what is going to be his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th base up here on the left side here at about the 8 o'clock position. Both still controlling their watchtowers, getting some cannons up here, and actually MouzMana isn't controlling that tower, but he's not missing too much. They're constantly just kind of throwing one unit at a time at each other just to keep a good watch on the army composition of the other player. TLO is making some ghosts, got 2 more battle cruisers on the way, a nuke on the way. Very awesome, very awesome. I love to see nuke play, especially from a guy like TLO. He's done some really fancy stuff with nukes. TLO still, like I said, is getting these 2 planetary fortresses down. This could be very hard for the Protoss to break unless he's got Colossi. Those planetary fortresses can be a real pain in the butt. We're seeing a lot of High Templar here, though. 6 High Templar with almost full energy. That is a very scary thing against a Bio Ball. And he's got some Immortals mixed in there to help take out tanks, and of course the charge lots. They're going to take out that Cloak Banshee that TLO is trying to sneak around, and TLO is got another command center finish here. Not sure he knows what he wants to do with it. Another one about to finish here. He could just use it for another planetary fortress, or probably to take this island expansion up here. Looks like MouzMana has now seen the battle cruisers. Defensive nuke coming down here from TLO. I really like this move. Oh, but the Ghost does get killed off. Storm coming down all over the place, and really they do decent damage to these tanks even. Battle cruisers, though, are very beastly. A lot of stalkers out here. They're probably going to be able to drop these, and TLO is not looking too hot right now. He's down at 137 supply to 121 of MouzMana. It's hard to say who came out on top. He lost 2 planetary fortresses there and that middle position, all those siege tanks, which can be a pain to rebuild. But he is macroing back up. He's got another battle cruiser on the way. He's got level 2 ship weapons on the way, and of course just creating his bio ball all over again. He doesn't have too many factories out here, so that getting those siege tanks numbers up again can be pretty difficult to do. I only see 1 factory even. That is pretty crazy considering the amount of siege tanks he had out there. TLO getting a Reaper out. Now that is a late game Reaper if I've ever seen one. Still more High Templars being warped in, and MouzMana killing this expansion, deciding that he can, well, he's going to apparently try and push into TLO's main, which could be huge. TLO does not have too many units out here. He does have another battle cruiser, though, and a planetary fortress, so MouzMana would be wise to pull back, and he is going to pull back here once all those units stim and come running at him, which is a smart move. He can force a stim out, and he pulls him away from the planetary and starts attacking again. More units getting rallied out here, losing kind of unnecessary Marines. TLO does have this command center floating up here, so it didn't die. MouzMana is still trying to push up here. Takes down the planetary fortress. This battle cruiser is getting close to dying. It's gonna go down. There's a cloak advantage here, and Archon being warped in because those High Templars had no energy left. And TLO is pulling a lot of SCVs to try and do some damage here. Still has this battle cruiser, which is probably going to be able to stop this push. But if we look at the supplies now, we got 105 for TLO, 90 for MouzMana. The problem is if Protoss has enough warp gates, it's so easy for him to pump out more units. Another observer coming down for MouzMana. Still no Colossi play coming out of him, so he's probably just going to avoid that altogether this game. More gateways even up here. He does have the island expansion taken, but nothing mining up here. They're both sitting on about 4 base right now. 5 base kind of for TLO, but this left expansion here isn't really saturated. These High Templars, that is a huge group of High Templars. 9 High Templars getting ready to move out here. And apparently my math sucks terribly because there's 8 High Templars there. I apologize. I was in algebra in 7th grade. I'm supposed to be smart at that kind of thing, but apparently not anymore. Here we see a bunch of Stalkers still kind of poking around, wanting to keep TLO back. We don't want to be able to get in siege position up here again. More battle cruisers still being pumped out. Another planetary fortress being sat down by TLO. And of course still making SCVs. If we take a look at our income here, we can see about even on the harvesters. Really, TLO does have the mules, so his income is going to be a lot bigger. And MouzMana is starting to push in here. Oh, beautiful EMP on those High Templars from TLO from the high ground. And TLO still coming down. Still more High Templars, though, with a lot of energy. He's got to be really careful with those bio units. And those feedbacks are huge on the battle cruisers. Huge feedbacks. That really hurts. And it almost is bad that TLO got that upgrade to raise the starting energy of his battle cruisers, because it just makes those do more damage when he feeds back those. And another High Templar goes down. He didn't really have any energy left anyway, so it wasn't a huge deal. Still a 91 supply for MouzMana and 116 for TLO. So TLO may be at a slight advantage. He does still have the advantage on income, and as more mules come up and he's able to drop more, it's just going to keep getting more and more in his favor. Now TLO still just going with ghosts and battle cruisers. He's loving those battle cruisers, which is awesome. They are a cool late game unit. This was before the speed though, so that is interesting that he's using those that much. TLO moving out with a big force here. Mainly Marine Marauder battle cruiser with some ghosts mixed in as well, and SCVs to help prepare these. We could see some feedbacks on these battle cruisers again, but really their energy isn't that high, and he's just using all that energy from the High Templar and Storms. TLO deciding he's going to pull back a little bit. He's got a lot of weakened units here, and really one more Storm is going to do massive damage to them. And more SCVs coming out to repair. These battle cruisers are so expensive, you want to keep your numbers up if at all possible. TLO did see that there's a few Stalkers here that were stopping the mining at this location because they can get out of range of that planetary fortress. MouzMana, once again, has macroed up a decent little force here. He's got the Archon from the High Templars that ran out of energy, and he's got 5 more High Templars here that are getting ready to move up. TLO's got a semi-decent conclave. That EMP only hit 1 Zealot, so that really hurts. He needs to hit those EMPs on the High Templars. These guys that are, their energy is starting to build up. That was a good, very good EMP down on the High Templar, but there's still 3 more in the back, and we'll see if he can land another. Big storms coming down, doing a lot of damage to TLO's armies, and warping and Archons here. TLO does look like he's going to be able to hold this off almost no problem. Making sure his battlecruisers don't get too low on health. He really doesn't want to lose those units because they're so expensive. And TLO's starting to push back down, take out a few more Stalkers while they're retreating with those concussive shells. TLO now still looks like he's just kind of mining gas out of this expansion up here. He does have a few more guys, calling down a bunch of mules. A lot of mules, looks like about 8 mules that he just called down. Once again, don't trust my math because apparently it sucks. MouzMana does have an observer here kind of watching everything that TLO's doing. And MouzMana is starting to move his forces out to the Cell Naga Tower again. He does have some gateways kind of spread all over. 3 up here at this base. Not too much over here, just cannons. But he does get this other expansion up. He's throwing a bunch of probes down there. I'm still sticking to the same tech, going High Templars with gateway units, some Immortals. And here comes another engagement we're about to see. Oh, beautiful feedback on that Ghost to prevent any EMPs. That is a huge deal. Motto Cannon coming in, probably on the Archon. A lot of damage. Motto Cannon is the coolest skill ever. Big storms coming down there, and this is a very marine-heavy army by TLO. More storms coming down. This is going to do so much damage to him. Simming again, these units are getting so weak. TLO taking down this battle cruiser. That's going to be huge. Archon's going to finish off some things. TLO is kind of in a retreat mode right now. Pretty decent force here still by MouzMana. He's going to be able to take all this out, no problem. Cloak Banshee here, but he does have the Observer spotting everything for him, and MouzMana setting up more units, a lot more Zealots coming up, and he's just streaming them all this way. More High Templars being sent in, which is going to do just sick damage to him. TLO's definitely feeling the pressure right now. This gold base is all mined out, so it's not a huge deal if you lose it, but you definitely don't want to be losing Orbital Commands if you can prevent it at all. And MouzMana has a decent force up here. TLO's bases are kind of getting separated. It's going to be a lot harder for him to defend this base up here because he has no production facilities at it, really, that are going to be able to help him hold anything back. And even though it is a planetary fortress, there's a lot of units here, and all he really has to do is go in and storm those SCVs, and it's going to do so much damage. TLO's going to be crying himself to sleep tonight after that. Bunker's going to go down, and planetary fortress is going to try and do work, I'm sure. Oh, TLO is actually going to leave the game. We're going to go on to Game 2 now. Well played by MouzMana. It's refreshing to see players actually say GG. It seems like there's been a lot of people lately that have not found themselves doing that. So we'll move on to Game 2, and hope you guys are still watching. Thank you.